reporter, unique in every way.
48 hours to election day. Hashtag Stop Galamsey now still on. Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. The Midday News is live on Joy 99.7 FM, Hits 103.9 FM in Accra, Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, myjoyonline.com. We are live in all 16 regions of Ghana, Radio Max in Takrady, ATL in Cape Coast. We are live on X Spaces on Facebook. The Midday News is supported by Petrol Soul Platinum Energy, energizing dreams this afternoon. Tension erupts at Koforidua Police Headquarters over voting perimeter dispute as an NDC Organizer resisted his removal from the voting perimeter he claimed was also being occupied by an NPP agent. Meanwhile, a relatively peaceful special voting process is underway in the Western region with no incident recorded so far.
Early morning yet, but I'm told about 30 people have cast their vote out of about 280, and there's not been any infractions.
We're live on the grounds with our correspondents as the Eastern and Western regions take their turn in the rescheduled special voting. It's also the final lap of campaigning in a last-ditch effort to sway undecided voters and solidify support from the decided. Reset or upgrade, what is possible? NPP and NDC hold final rallies in the Greater Accra region.
From my possibilities tour, I came across hope, expectations, and the belief that it is possible to transform Ghana.
Our dear nation, Ghana is bleeding. Ghana's soul is calling for change. Mother Ghana is crying for its true and genuine patriotic citizens to rise up to reset our beloved nation.
What will it be? We're live at the University of Ghana Sports Complex, Legon and Zurak Park at Medina, where the NPP and NDC, amidst tight security presence, are holding their rallies.
2 police helicopters will be flying over the rally grounds to provide surveillance and to help monitor activities on the ground.
And we are on the campaign trail where NDC flag bearer John Dramani Mahama has warned he will reject the outcome of Saturday's presidential and parliamentary elections if incidents of violence, intimidation or ballot snatching occurs.
If on the election day there's widespread ballot snatching and beating of people and the military moving and intimidate people and shoot people, you want me to accept that result?
Will he sign the anti-LGBTQ bill if elected? I'll tell you more about it. There's also the fun side of the campaign, Throwback Thursday edition.
MMA, Manfastiano, MMA, Anka football match, Anka Mashenu, 33-0.
Or the Atosoa gates NBA. The digital gates didn't open for the digital man.
The prophets, they are lying to the people. Saturday is not far. I will win the elections.
The sports.
Well, former Sante Kotoko Board Chairman Herbert Mensah has blamed authorities for ignoring signs that indicated the fortunes of the team were going to decline.
That's and more in this afternoon's edition of the Midday News. I am Emefa Apawu. Please do stay on for details. This is your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. Let's start off from the election headquarters.
Election Headquarters is brought to you by Petrol Soul Platinum Energy, energizing dreams, Chopbox Technology, a convenient service, German Ozone Medical Center, alternative therapy, dental, wellness and beauty, the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants (CIMA) and the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants (AICPA), together as the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants, Youth Bridge Foundation, bridging the gaps for positive youth development, Syntex Tanks, Air Strong, Air Tough, Potential Real Estate, your trusted partner in real estate, Deluxe Paint, Paints Mu Champion.
And today is the special voting for the Eastern and Western regions, which was scheduled as a result of a ballot leakage. Let's start off from the Eastern region.
You're
hearing sounds of new jobbing. South NDC Organizer Ahmed Tijani Mikano at the Koforidua Police Headquarters voting center in the Eastern region resisting attempts by a police officer to move him from the voting perimeter. Tijani insisted he would not leave the perimeter unless an NPP official who was also present in the restricted area was equally removed. The standoff created a scene, drawing the attention of onlookers and security personnel. Our man Kofi was there, witnessed it all, and joins us via Zoom with all the details. So how was this particular incident resolved, Kofi?
Okay, so it took the intervention of the Electoral Commission officers and the police officers around to, speak to the parties involved. So Mikano Tijani was spoken to and he understood the situation. So he had to leave the place and since he left, Cam has returned to the place.
EC has given us a parameter in which we should distance ourselves from the voters. But the NPP are campaigning with the voters in the queue. So I also decided to campaign with my team in the process, whereby I reported to the EC. He said it's not allowed. Now, if it's not allowed, they should drive all those people back so that we have the chance, the voters will have the chance to what? To cast their vote. Already, we all know, since morning when the vote started, it was peaceful. But until the MPP started paying money in the queue with the people, that is how come we also started going through the line.
Well, Kofi, you got to interact also with the presiding officer, Darlington Anan. What did he tell you?
Well, when I contacted him, he said that he believes that the party members around the polling station misinformed or misled Mr. Tijani to believe that the NPP had extra, or the number of agents that were present for the NPP exceeded the required number.
He was moving around and he was consulted that he should move from the line, okay, because as if it was causing nuisance to the voters. So he was advised to leave the queue, okay, just not to loiter around, okay. But as he was going, the other part, the opponent thought he was maybe interfering with the voting process. Yes, so he wanted to know what was happening, and during the course of that, the whole thing as if escalated into a debate among them. Okay, so we have to come in, and then everything was resolved.
Well, so that's the situation in the Eastern region, parts where my colleague Kofi has been reporting from. As we speak, calm has been restored and voting is underway. Let me take you to the Western region now. We're told it's been smooth and peaceful so far, with little to no reported incident. My colleague Ina Thalia Kwanza also joins us via Zoom with all the details. Ina, which centers have you been and what can you report? Hello, Ina. It does appear that I've just lost Natalia Kwanza there on this issue. But let me also go back to the Eastern region, and I'm told Kwesi Azo is also monitoring the events in some other special voting centers. Kwesi, what can you report? Kwesi, you would have to unmute so we can hear you. Well, my colleague Kwesi Azo will join us shortly with all the updates on this. Also in the Western region, Nanesi Brew Money is also monitoring the process in Takwa in Swayim and will also give us updates on this. But of course, that's the situation when it comes to the special voting exercise in the Eastern and Western regions, which was rescheduled as a result of that leaked ballot paper. And we are told that the process is smooth in all the areas. But of course, let's stay a while longer in the election headquarters. Of course, today is the final lap in terms of major rallies and campaigning for the two major political parties, the NPP and the NDC. They're all gathering in that part of town, Legon and of course Medina. With the stakes high, both parties are making a last-ditch effort to sway undecided voters and energize their support base. The rally is expected to draw massive crowds, mark the climax of intense campaigning as Ghanaians gear up to decide the political future. We're live at the University of Ghana Sports Complex, where the NPP flag bearer Lecturer Dr. Mahmoud Balmia is leading a star-studded personalities at the rally. At the Zurak Park, also at Medina, the NDC flag bearer John Dramani Mahama, who is currently wrapping up his campaign tour of the Ashanti region, will join the best of the best in the party to make the last-minute pitch to sway undecided voters and also cement those who have already decided to vote for them. But before I take you live to the venues, let's hear from John Dramani Mahama.
A nation with one destiny, a destiny that cannot afford to endure one additional day beyond January 7, 2025 of the maladministration, the mismanagement and state capture this nation has been subjected to over the last almost 8 years. For the sake of God's children and in the name of God, the people of Ghana will wake up from this nightmare and envision a bright new dawn of opportunities for all its people and not just a few. Our dear nation, Ghana is bleeding. Ghana's soul is calling for change. Mother Ghana is crying for its true and genuine patriotic citizens to rise up to reset our beloved nation. Ghanaians can take no more of the hardship, the impunity, the state capture, the hypocrisy, the lies, and bad governance that has been inflicted on them over the 2 terms of this outgoing administration.
Well, the NPP's Dr. Mahmoud Balmia believes momentum is on his side to break the 8.
With God, it is possible. Over 18 million Ghanaians will have the opportunity to decide on a new leader and parliamentarians to govern the affairs of state over the next 4 years. The race is on, and I know, and you know, and they know that the momentum is on our side. I have witnessed firsthand the enthusiasm, commitment, and determination of the rank and file of our party, the great new patriotic party, to break the 8 and usher in life-transforming ideas that will deliver broad-based prosperity to all Ghanaians. From my possibilities tour, I came across hope, expectations, and the belief that it is possible to transform Ghana and create a sense of pride in the Ghanaian.
Well, reset or upgrade what is possible. Let me take you to Medina, Zurak Park. Let's start there, where the NDC will be holding that final major rally, from where my colleague Kweku Asante and the team are on standby. Kweku, tell us what's happening now.
Well, Emefa, the space is filling up. The platform is ready. The supporters are coming in their numbers. And the roads are blocked right from Atomic Junction up until the Zurak Park, right around the Medina AstroTurf, where the Zurak Park has been prepared in readiness. In fact, the space is not that big. Early on, we're hearing from one of the conveners for the NDC in terms of this organization, talking about how they attempted to use the Independence Square and they were prevented and all that, and that they've had to settle on this case, and that is where they expect more and more people to come. We are now getting indications that they intend to start this event at 1 o'clock p.m. The former president, who has been in the Ashanti region wrapping up his tour, will be expected to join the teeming crowd here at about 3 p.m. and then he will deliver concluding remarks on the party's campaign that they have done across the country up until now. And so, as of now, if you come to the Zurak Park, a lot of supporters more coming in. You can hear a lot of vuvuzelas right around me. The security presence, the party's internal security have also cordoned off some spaces, as well as heavy police presence with a lot of police checkpoints just around this place. So that is the situation on ground. Sandro Bay, who has been leading the organization effort, is the status in terms of the stages and all the events that they intend to hold. And the party said they expect close to 100,000 people to come to this stage to actually deliver their final rally before Saturday's crucial election.
Well, Kweku, the advertised time was supposed to be midday. It does look like they are not going to stick to that, right?
Well, yes, the event is not going to start at midday. The party now says they expect to start at 1 o'clock, where the speeches will start from MPs, from constituency, as well as national executives. That will culminate in the former president arriving here at the Zurak Park at about 3 p.m. As we speak, the former president is still in the Ashanti region, We understand he will start days with about 3 constituencies before concluding that tour that he has done in the Ashanti region, and then fly over to Accra and head straight here at the Zura Park. And so the timelines have changed from the initial expected time of about 12 o'clock. That has changed now to about 1 or 1:30. And the former president is expected to arrive here at about 3 p.m.
That's my colleague Kweku Asante there on standby with the team at the Medina Zurich Park, where the NDC will be holding that final rally. Off to the University of Ghana Sports Complex, and Kenneth JC is also there on standby with the team. I guess the place is charging up now, Kenneth.
Well, it is indeed when it comes to the University of Ghana campus. You see the campus painted in the flags of red, blue and white of the New Patriotic Party. There are a lot of people lined up here. I don't know if you can hear in the background, but dozens of motorbikes carrying party supporters are also trooping in here. You also see a lot of people cashing in with the party paraphernalia. But I've been speaking to some of the party members who say that they are optimistic that their candidate, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, is going to emerge victorious after scoring 276 constituencies in Ghana. They believe that with this climax of the campaign, they are going to win this election one touch.
Well, the NPP advertised that they will start at 1 p.m. Will that happen?
Well, that is not going to happen, at least per what we've heard, because when I spoke to about 2 or 3 people, they say the start time is going to be around 2 p.m. And it looks a bit cloudy, though. We cannot tell whether the rain might fall or not, but as it stands now, they say it is going to start around 2 p.m.
Well, that's my colleague Kenneth JC, also there from the Legon Sports Complex, joining us, where the NPP will also be holding that final rally. Well, in the middle of it, you know that the security agencies, a National Election Security Task Force, demarcated some areas that both party supporters would have to use to the various venues for this particular exercise. But my colleague Michael Ashale is in the middle of things, checking in terms of congestion amongst others and how it's been handled by the security. Michael, what can you tell us?
Well, Emefa, I'm currently standing right in front of the University of Ghana, and this is the major intersection of Tonglo traffic light. And it's a sea of cars that I can see from where I'm standing when you're facing the airport area. You can see vehicles lined up all the way to beyond actually what I can see as it stands now. And then when I turn behind me as well, all the way to Medina, it's a gridlock. So, but what is good is that the Ghana Police Service are on the grounds and are making sure they're directing everybody as to what exactly to do. The major problem really will be, those who are using motorcycles who without recourse to sometimes the traffic situation, they'll just drive through. But beyond that, it looks almost as though it's under control. But let me just say that this is just hours to the main event, and it's what you're expecting thousands and thousands of more people to come through. Okay. But already the gridlock has started here in part of Accra. We're expecting it to get thicker. But the Ghana Police Service, just like they told us yesterday, have assured us that they'll be here through it all until the traffic dies down, maybe sometime later in the evening.
That's my colleague Michael Ashale. So you know, if you don't have any urgent business in that part of town, you know what to do. Meanwhile, the Ghana Police Service says it's adding another layer of security measures to enhance safety before, during and after the elections. Giving these large gatherings, the police service says it will carry out aerial monitoring with its helicopters. Grace Ansar Kofi is director of the Ghana Police Public Affairs.
2 police helicopters will be flying over the rally grounds to provide surveillance and to help monitor activities on the ground to ensure the safety of the persons at the rally and to look out also for any suspicious activities that will require the intervention of the police and other security agencies as the case may be. We want to once again give our assurance to the good people of this country that the National Election Security Task Force remain poised and we are leaving no stone unturned. We are covering every corner, every aspect to make sure that these rallies, despite the close proximity of the locations, would be undertaken, and by the time the rallies are over, there would be peace, security, law and order.
That's the Director of Public Affairs, Ghana Police Service, Grace Ansa Akrufi. Well, with just 2 days to the presidential and parliamentary elections, the NDC flag bearer, John Mahama, is warning he will not accept the outcome of the polls if it is marred by violence, intimidation, and acts that give unfair advantage to his opponent. The former president rejected the results of the 2020 elections on similar grounds, but his plea to the Supreme Court to overturn the verdict of the Electoral Commission was rejected unanimously. Speaking to the BBC, the former president demanded transparency and fairness in the conduct of the polls.
If on the election day there's widespread ballot snatching and beating of people and the military moving and intimidate people and shoot people and thugs are all over the place rampaging, you want me to accept that result? It will depend on the transparency and fairness of the process.
Now, you've been campaigning on the promise of implementing a 24-hour economy. Can you explain to us what that means?
It's simple. I mean, if you incentivize businesses to run longer than 8 hours, they can't run with the same number of people. They'll have to employ some more people. The demand is there.
How much will it cost your government to implement a 24-hour economy?
You can't put a cost on it immediately. 24-hour economy is not an event. It's a process. And so even while we're stabilizing the macroeconomic environment and bringing inflation down, bringing interest rates down, we'll be implementing the 24-hour economy. Yeah,
well, will he sign the anti-LGBTQ plus bill into law?
It's against our culture, I mean, African culture. It's against our religious faith, Muslim and Christian and all that. But I think that we must look at the bill, and the president must indicate what he finds wrong with that bill and send the bill back to Parliament. Or alternatively, he must send it to the Council of State and get the Council of State's advice.
Is that what you would have done?
That's what I would have done.
And will you ever sign an anti-LGBT bill?
It depends on what is in the bill.
That's NDC flag bearer John Dramani Mahama speaking to the BBC. Well, President Akufo-Addo has strongly condemned acts of religious hatred, particularly those targeting Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia at a gathering in Chibi. Emphasizing unity and tolerance ahead of Saturday's polls, the president called on Ghanaians to rise above divisive sentiments.
So Kremuni and Gramophone Nipa. We don't want religious conflict and strife in Ghana. People who seek to sow division on religious and ethnic and tribal lines are nation wreckers of our country. We want people who will encourage the unity and the harmony of Ghana, not its divisions. You don't have anything proper to say on behalf of your candidate. Don't raise tribal or religious considerations. Ghana, we are far ahead of that. Midday.
Well, smaller parties also in the race to the 2024 general elections are accusing the Electoral Commission of discrimination ahead of the polls on Saturday. Speaking on the polls with my colleague Elton Brobe, the General Secretary of the Great Consolidated Popular Party, Citizen Ado Dazi, charged the EC to consider treating all parties fairly as it makes it easier for losers to accept defeat after the polls.
They've been sometimes unfair to some of us. It looks like the elections, the stakeholders are seeing these elections as between NDC and MPP. So there's not a level playing field for all of us. You go for your accreditation tax, NDC and MPP are receiving this number and the other parties are receiving that number. I mean, I think these things need to be ironed out well. And all of us have a part to play.
Well, the Deputy Director of Communications for the Movement for Change, Courage Nobi, also shares similar sentiment with an experience.
I think we have had cause to be worried about the conduct of the EC. For me, the most blatant of all is that we received written communication last week that some ballot papers that had problems doing printing were going to be discarded on a certain day at 10 a.m. Our agents got there at 8:30, only to be told that it actually took place the day before. Meanwhile, the EC communicated to us in writing the constitution makes room for an individual, a person, to be elected as president. Some choose to come by the vehicle of a political party. Others choose to come as independent candidates. Why should that be a crime? Why should the Electoral Commission discriminate against independent candidates just because they are not coming with political parties, or the political parties are not perceived to be big enough?
That's Courage Nobi with the Movement for Change, taking us on a quick break here on the Midday News, live on Joy 99.7 FM, Hits 103.9 FM, also in Accra, Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, myjoyonline.com. We're live in all 16 regions, X Spaces and Facebook. The Midday News is supported by Petrosol Platinum Energy, energizing dreams. We return from the break. We have sport, is the final lap of campaigning, and of course we have a Throwback Thursday edition.
Cristiano, MMA, anka football match, anka my channel 33-0.
Or the Atoso gates NBA. The digital gates didn't open for the digital man.
The problem is they are lying to the people. Saturday is not far. I will win the elections.
When budgets are tight and money difficult to come by, you want to be sure you get the best value for your money. These are not times to be spending money fixing expensive engine problems because of cheap fuel and lubricants. Drive to a Petrosol station today and buy your quality fuel and lubricants, and rest assured of fuel that lasts long and lubricants that prevent expensive engine problems. Hear the sound. Petrosol, clean fuel in full quantity.
Ghana, the elephant is calling. Get ready for the biggest and the final rally for election 2024, put together by the New Patriotic Party. The New Patriotic Party at the Nijani Ahusepesronko Eltonsa Afrani Party Menina and in the general public say the party shall climax all its nationwide campaign activities with a final rally ahead of the 2024 general elections. Now say rally way Yatudin say the possibilities victory rally Matthew 19:26. But with God all things are possible. Ebaso Yawada, December 5, 2024. Time 1 p.m. sharp. Venue University of Ghana Sports Directorate Park. Eni University of Ghana Sports Stadium no ena edi inshanim. Na special guest Amuba Jumedi His Excellency Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo, the President of the Republic of Ghana. His Excellency Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, and the presidential candidate of the New Patriotic Party, John Ajakum Kufuor, the former President of the Republic of Ghana. Honorable Dr. Matthew Opaku Prempe, Honorable Stephen Ayesu Intim, Lawyer Justin Kodia Frimpon, Honorable Alexander Kwamina Afenyo Makin, Honorable Akosia Frema Osai Opare, Enuti, all party members, sympathizers, and the general public are invited to participate in this historic program, which will be carried live on all media houses. Enuti media houses in contact the Campaign Communication Directorate for any inquiry. It is indeed time for bold solutions for Ghana's next chapter. NPP Eshi Rado.
Thanks for staying with us. Let's do sports. Victor.
Former Kumasi Asante Kotoko Board Chairman Herbert Mensah has blamed authorities for ignoring signs that he says indicated the fortunes of the team were going to decline. Mensah says victories often covered up the problems in the team. His remarks come on the Black Stars' failure to qualify for the African Cup of Nations for the first time in 20 years.
There's something about we Ghanaians. It's as though you have to reach the point where the club or the nation or the sport is down. So in my case, Kotoko could not field 11 players for a league match. I've seen this rot in the Black Stars long before, even before the current management of the GFA. There's a certain direction in which we started going. Once you separate where you go in terms of the development of the domestic league and what happens in your school system and the pyramid scheme for excellence, once you separate that and you just simply think you can cut and paste, you end up where you are. And
That's Herbert Mensah, former Kotoko board chair.
Thank you very much, Victor Achuta Maklo. It's the last day for campaign activities ahead of Saturday's polls. The journey has been tough and eventful, but of course there have been some jobs and fun side to the campaign. Prince Kwame Kuduga has a Throwback Thursday edition.
The 2024 campaign trail was characterized by interesting, unforgettable moments. Let's take it back to this one, when flag bearers of the NPP and the NDC vigorously slugged it out.
President Samuaba Ghana, Unya Vice President Waye Juma, Asin Dr. Baumia, Enti Monfastiano, Emame, Monfastiano, Emame, Naminchikano Nenko.
Some people today want to run for president, and so they have quickly pulled themselves back and are washing their hands and behaving as if they were not part of it. All of them, they day inside.
Ubisami Dr. Baumia, whether the vice president, the other is sharing all the about 33 different policies. Why Ubianya 33 policies? Uwenya zero. Usi yanto abamao. Now what you ready da? Anka a football match. Anka mashenu 33-0. 33-0. Anka mashenu.
When Vice President Baumia was saying our economic management team, we have Professor Jambafo, we have Alan Chiramate, we have Honorable Osafo Mafo, we have Ken Oforiata. What a solid team. What a solid team, anyhow.
Because I'm Brian debate, you know, Osuro, we journey to San Gokon getting. We journey, Osuro.
Or then the Ghana card etoso, gate say MBA. Or the atoso gate say MBA. The digital gates didn't open for the digital man.
They might be considered underdogs, but they are bent on victory too. This is APC's Hassan Ayariga and LPG's Kofi Akpalu taking each other on.
This election. I win this election, and where the votes are going to come from, myself, I don't even know. But I know one thing for sure, that I win this election.
Okay.
I win. I'm the next president of Ghana. Nobody can change it.
He's dreaming, and I want him to wake up. Kofi is still dreaming. When he's awake, then we can discuss the issue.
Kofi Akpalu has this for naysayers.
Oh no, forget about the prophets. The prophets, they are lying to the people. You know, they have not seen anything. They are just lying to the people. You know, Saturday is not far. I will win the elections.
But why does the Great Consolidated Popular Party, GCPP, only ever seem to have been led by individuals with the name Lati?
Well, you don't need to be a Lati. It was a strategic move. And then, so it was a strategic move to have Daniel, because Daniel bears the name of the founder of the party, and makes it easy for us to even sell him than anybody else, because Daniel Augustus Lati Jr.
One thing is certain, even as Ghanaians gear up to cast their votes on Saturday, the journey has not been boring. Prince Kwame Kuduga's report for Joy News.
And that's how we end today's edition of the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. There's more when you log on to myjoyonline.com. Living Word with Pastor Mensa Otabil is up next here on Joy. We have entertainment news on Hits 103.9 FM. Have a good afternoon.